these are the mistakes that are going to cost you time, money, and energy when you're buying a new construction. Here we go. Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. We see a lot of people make a lot of mistakes when buying new construction homes. Now, this is from small things that are just annoying to things that are long lasting, things that are going to be in the home as long as you are. And these are the things that are going to cause you headaches. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through and go through the list. I have about 12 items that I think will hopefully save you some money the next time you're buying a home. We'll just start with number one. And number one is people pick the wrong floor plan. Today I am at Highland Homes, one of my favorite builders. They have some phenomenal floor plans. Now, this isn't a sales pitch at all for Highland Homes. I do see a lot of times where people look at the floor plans, they love the floor plans on paper, and then they get into the floor plan and there's something that's not functional. Let me show you one thing. I just purchased a home last year and I run into a problem with functionality in my home. Now, I like the home, but the functionality part that I hate is the fact there's not a half bath in the home. You have to either go into a bedroom or you have to go in a shared bathroom, and it is just a pain in the butt. I also don't like the fit and finish and just how my kitchen lines up with my living room. Now, I bought this home resale. I did not buy this home to build. In fact, my last home, I loved the floor plan, and it was the thing I loved most about it. It was super functional. Make sure when you're looking at a floor plan, make sure that you can actually see yourself getting around. Map it out, because guess what? You don't want to buy a floor plan that you absolutely do not love. Let's talk about the second thing on this list, and that is location. Now, think about this. So I had a lot of people moving to the Austin area in 2021, 2022 that didn't really know where to live. And that's why I spend a lot of time on this channel trying to help people, the pros and cons of different areas. But when you pick the wrong location or a home that you're building in a neighborhood that's not really where you want to be, now a couple years later, you're going to sell it. But also location means location in the neighborhood, right? So when you're building a home, if you're not getting direct sunlight, if you're not getting overall daily sunlight, the home's going to feel dark and not as nice, right? You're not going to have that nice, airy, beautiful, bright light. Location could be two things. Now, I've had clients that'll buy a home in like Leander, and they hate where they bought in Leander. Had they bought a different neighborhood, they probably would have loved it. I'm not just picking on Leander. This is a lot of places. Think about this when you're buying a new home. There might only be one or two new construction homes or builders in a specific area. If you pick the wrong one and you pick the wrong location, maybe there's not enough gas stations. I know a lot of people get mad at me for saying that Easton Park is a terrible neighborhood to buy in for a few reasons. In fact, a couple that are on the list that I have right here. In fact, the last one on this list is pretty important, so pay attention to the last one on this list. This one's going to save you a lot of money, actually. Okay, the next on this list is picking too many upgrades. Now, this can be a big problem when you're building a home, and the reason why is for appraisal issues. So, or maybe you over improve a home and then somebody doesn't want to buy it. Here's an example. So let's say the median price for a home is, let's throw out a fun number, $1 million. And you put so many upgrades into a home that it's $1.3 million by the time you get done. Well, possibility is that you don't make appraisal and then you end up having to come out of pocket. Now, we saw this happen a lot during the pandemic just because prices were moving crazy. But the other thing is that when you go to resell that property in the future, you may have comps that are $200,000 below you in the scenario I gave you. And now your home won't sell. Now, it's the best looking home with the best upgrades, but if you over improve a home, that could end up costing you money in the future. And guess what? We've had scenarios where clients went overboard on a shower and a bathroom, and they picked the wrong upgrades for the wrong shower and bathroom. And then we had to renegotiate price towards the end because it did not make appraisal. Think about this. When you go to a builder, some things that we usually ask a builder, what do people actually do as far as the amount of upgrades? What percent over base price do they go? So if a median base price is around $500,000 and people do about 15%, that gives you an idea with lot and everything. You really shouldn't go too far over that. You might have appraisal issues, and that's why it's good to have a good realtor. That's on the list, but it's way down the list, so let's keep going. Okay, the next on this list is pretty important because let's say you're on a budget crunch and you really want to save as much money as possible. And look, I get it. Not putting money into the right upgrades could be a problem as well. Let me give you an example. I've seen clients that will, or people that will just do the basic bare minimum. Now, there's a couple things there. You could be doing the basic bare minimum because you want to go back and actually put in better upgrades than what the builder's providing and actually at a much lower cost. I've seen that. But I've also seen people that are just trying to be price sensitive and they don't do any upgrades. Well, then it costs them more money in the future. And look, this is where it's the time and the headache, because if you're trying to get a home ready to sell, or maybe you're finally ready to do those upgrades, now you're going to be in the home and you're going to have to live there while construction's going on, and you don't want that. The other thing is you might, put your home on the market. You see all these beautiful, wonderful comps for $600,000-$700,000, and you go, my house is worth $600,000-$700,000. But you didn't do any past just the basic carpet, or maybe you didn't do any upgrades. Maybe it's the level 1 countertops. So you didn't really pick like nice upgrades. And I don't mean nice just as far as the levels, right? You have level 1 through 5. So maybe you didn't pick the right upgrades, and then the house sits on the market, it doesn't sell, or after a while you're like, I wish I would have put this in the house, or I wish I would have put that in the house. So when you're going through design plan, make sure you pay attention and really love the upgrades that you're going to love. This one we are going handheld on because this one is really important. Designing or building the wrong kitchen. Now these builders, they have a lot of floor plans, and this kind of goes back to the first one. But if you don't pick the right kitchen that flows, that is right for you, look, we spend so much time in the kitchen cooking. Maybe you want a kitchen that opens up to the living room so you can cook and watch at the same time. But if you have a galley kitchen that doesn't have any of that, then you're not going to be part of the family as you cook. So that's something to think about. There's a lot of different things where I've seen people who put not as much emphasis on the kitchen, and they don't love it, and then they want to sell it. And then guess what? Harder to sell. So make sure you're picking the right floor plan one. Make sure you're putting the right upgrades in. And make sure your kitchen's functional. I always recommend to clients, if you're going to do upgrades, spend them in the places that you're going to be the most. Living room, kitchen, master bedroom. Let's talk lighting. Okay, let's talk lighting, okay? Look, sometimes if you don't put enough lighting in, you're gonna have a dark house. Guess what? These little cans, they could cost a lot to do after the fact. One thing I regret in my first home that I built was not putting enough lighting in my master bedroom. We had a nice fixture in kind of like this, but we didn't put hand lighting or any of that stuff. So my bedroom felt dark all the time, and that bothered me. So here's the thing, when you're going to sell a home, one tip in the future is have lots of good white lighting, because then it gives you a nice, beautiful look to the home. I see a lot of times those like yellow light bulbs, the house doesn't look as good. Look, when you're building a home, these things do add dollars to the bottom line. Just to put in, like in this room right here, it could be like $1,000 to add lighting in here. I'm telling you, when you have a nice, bright, beautiful home, you're gonna get that money back. All right, the next on this list is super important. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, he's a realtor, blah, blah. Look, in Texas, and when you build a home, the builder rep does not represent you. They represent the builder. So having a realtor who can actually talk you through some of the things that you're picking in the home. Is this too much of an upgrade? Is this not enough upgrade? What will I regret? Think about it. Realtors spend a lot of time doing this. Actually, realtors that actually do a lot of business, do a lot of new construction. And when they do a lot of new construction, they know what they're talking about. They know what's going to help you resell. I've gone through several conversations with a client when they're picking upgrades on what to pick and what not to pick based on what they may do in the future. Sometimes we're going to be able to negotiate a better deal. And then look, as you build a home, part of the process is getting frustrated with the builder. Look, building a home can be 12 months. And if you don't have somebody on your side helping you, walking you through that, being that emotional person with you, right? I'm a realtor. I've built homes myself. I've been through the process several times, and trust me, it is good to have that ear that is somebody that can help you, right? My wife, who's also a real estate agent, we've built homes, and there are times both of us are frustrated with the builder, and if we had somebody there that was talking us off the ledge, because I've almost backed out of almost every home we've ever built, because it's such a painful process, 12 plus months building. Look, a realtor is going to save you money, time, and help take away the headache of building a home, and they're worth every single penny. I don't want to harp on this too much. I know everybody's like, oh, he's a realtor trying to save money and he's in a tub right now. But look, I recommend putting tubs in because tubs are going to help resell later. We'll get to the next one. Hey there. Okay, let's talk storage space. I have this happen at the own home that I just purchased. But again, I didn't build my current home. Not having enough storage space. I see this happen all the time. Look, we're trying to fit these homes into having like really cool design and all this fun stuff. And sometimes storage is not number one on our list. Luckily, where I'm at Highland, they do make some really good floor plans with really good storage. Our garages end up being our storage space. Sometimes you need attic space above that. Not having enough storage could also prevent you from selling your home in the future, and it could give you a headache because now you don't have storage. Now you gotta go buy a pod or something like that. Storage is super important. Make sure you get a home with enough storage. Here's one that could be a big problem for you building a home, and that is not picking the right builder. Sometimes there's only one builder in a neighborhood, and that's the only builder you can build with. But look, you're gonna spend 12 months with that builder or more. And in the Austin area, we have homes that take 2 years to build sometimes. If you don't pick the right builder who's going to deliver on time and like complete the promises they say they are, build with the quality, the builder could make or break it for you. And this is where having the right realtor can actually tell you from experience which properties or which builders have been good or bad. On this channel, I have to be careful sometimes because look, I do have to film videos. Like right now, I'm in Highland Homes right here. One of my favorite builders. In fact, I would buy a Highland home all the time. Now, this is not a paid advertisement by Highland Homes. This is just because this is a builder I trust, I've worked with, I've had clients with great experience. Now, there are builders I've had awful experience. If you want to reach out to us about which builders we've had awful experience, so what you should avoid, let me know. Oh, hey there. So I've seen this happen before where people pick the most bold, outrageous fixtures, finishes in their homes. And then when they go to resell the home, they have problems selling because they picked bold things. Now, I'm not saying pick boring upgrades, but keep in mind, when you go to resell your home, you're going to have to touch a lot of audiences and find the right buyer. Now, you can go bold and go really bold, but that one buyer has got to be able to agree to pay the price that you want. They might not want to buy that home in the future from you. So pick really nice upgrades, but don't go too crazy. Again, you go too bold, too big of upgrades, you may run into appraisal issues. And then when you go to sell your home in the future, well, that might be a headache too. Okay. The last on this list is pretty important. This is one that I think that sometimes maybe realtors don't really understand very well or don't articulate. Sometimes builders don't understand and they don't articulate. You get caught buying a home and a property, whether it's new construction or not, that has really high property taxes. This is a major issue. I have seen, especially in the Austin area, yes, we just passed a tax resolution. Property taxes are still really expensive. Now, some new construction properties actually have a really high rate, or maybe let's say the builder says, hey, look, the tax rate's 1.95. Awesome. That seems kind of low, right? But then there's a pit or a mud. Basically, a pit or a mud is utility districts that were brought in. So the utility district is $350 a month. The tax rate's low. But as that taxes on that home go up every year, that mud is still on there. The PIDs do drop off, so keep that in mind. Prime example, Easton Park, 3% tax rate over there. Over time, home buyers are taxed out of those homes. So I think it's really important you understand the taxes. Here's what's really important. When you build a property, like right now I'm in Parton Ranch, their taxes were high a while ago. Now they've come down as far as the tax rate goes. But when you buy a new construction home, what happens is the taxes are not actually set at that time. So your lender is going to say, okay, we're going off of this value. So your taxes we're estimating are $10,000 a year. Next thing you know, they are 15, 17, 20. The home I just left, I just sold, started off around $7,000 a year. I sold it last year, is now $17,000 for property taxes. And that's actually at a low tax rate of like 2%. Keep in mind, taxes are something that will keep you from building a lot of equity. And look, if the taxes are super high in the future, you're actually going to have to sell that home. And a buyer might come in and go, wow, the taxes are way too high. You're taxed out. You got to go. They don't want to buy the home because the taxes are too high, and then you're stuck with a home with high taxes. Keep them in mind. Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, what do you think about all of these? Do you agree with these? What would you add differently? We'll see you in the next video.